What's up, everybody? Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. And yesterday we had some things happen that are discussion worthy. We had some things happen that are not really news, but there were some things to glean from OTA session number 7. Yes, OTA session number 7, which is the only one open to the media this week. So the information that we got from yesterday is going to have to tide us over for probably this week because, again, when you're in our position, there isn't a lot of big stuff that can happen. So, seventh OTA session, I think it's the third one open to the media. Got some notes from the assorted roundtable of beat reporters. So let's go ahead and take a look here and see what they're saying. Starting with Condota here. First of all, the OTAs remain voluntary, so there are some players that were not there, like Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. I guess Eskridge isn't there, which is really surprising given how he's going to be fighting tooth and nail to make this roster. And I guess Chenault is also not practicing because I know he was there before. So I'm pretty sure he's there. He just wasn't practicing yesterday. So read into that as you will. Draymond Jones and Cameron Young also not seen on the VMAC field. Now, Draymond, we know, is undergoing work with his trainer to transition over to the maybe at least part-time, if not full-time edge rusher role. But, yeah, I don't know about Cameron Young. Again, I feel like he was there last week, so probably just missing a little bit of time, dinged up. Going through more of the notes that Condota took about this training camp session, Dodson did some walkthrough stuff, so at least he got on the field. Jerome Baker, however, still not on the field. So we should have expected that, but it's still not good to hear. We need him out there learning a new defense, learning how to play with new teammates. This is not ideal. Him being so limited in his ability to learn this new stuff. Also still out are Abe Lucas, which that was expected, but I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about this Anthony Bradford stuff. Per Bob Condota, Anthony Bradford is still not practicing. I think he's there, but he's still injured. And we were told weeks ago that it was a very minor thing. So starting to wonder what's going on there because this time is so important to Bradford. Not a good player last year. Understandably, not a very good player last year, but showed a lot of potential, a lot of promise. I would really like to see Bradford become a member of this offensive line long term because he is so talented. But this is putting him behind the 8 ball, even against rookies, which is who he's going up against. Guys like Haynes, guys like Lomia. There is a real chance that he could lose out on the starting job of because of stuff like this. So I don't like hearing that at all. JSN and actually I guess Bobo was the star of the show today according to some of the stuff I saw, but with no receivers, with so many of the receivers missing this camp session, Bobo got an opportunity to look really, really good. Aesop Winston working with the twos. He's a guy who I would be very surprised if he makes the team and might have an uphill battle to make the practice squad. So that's most of the stuff to do with the receivers. Offensive line has been consistent. It's still Tomlinson, still Curtis, still Fant. So we're still not really seeing the offensive line that we're expecting to have when the season starts. Condota also passed along. Kobe Bryant was back, so he's healthy. Got a lot of work at safety and nickel, which I really like the first part of that. I really, really would love Kobe Bryant to make it at safety. I don't know if he can. I would love for him to do it because I think it fits his skill set. I think it should work in theory, and it allows him to use his best skill set, which is his Peanut Tillman punch, as much as possible. And I don't think he's very good as a nickel. I just don't. So I think there's a low ceiling there. Safety, who knows? Howell had a pretty good day, according to a couple of the beat reporters. And I think that's really about it from Condota in this initial note string. We had a similar one from Brady Henderson. He discusses a lot of the same things here, but a couple things that Brady Henderson did point out was that, well, first of all, AJ Barner is back from the hamstring injury, and Condota in a separate tweet did point that out. So Barner is looking good to go. And Brady Henderson also pointed out here that Leonard Williams is now present. He wasn't before. So now he's part of the festivities. So he did eventually show up. Again, I think OTAs are probably the least useful thing for a guy like Leonard Williams. So it makes sense that he isn't there for all of it, but he is there for some of it. You can see him here from the Greg Bell tweet as well. So Leonard Williams is in the house. He is in town, ready to go on the 2024 season. Nope. Excuse me. Other than that, most of the other stuff in this string is still is similar to what Condota passed along. Christian Haynes is still the second string right guard. Bobo had a strong day per Brady Henderson because of all the receivers who are out. He gets more opportunities. JSN made another great catch in the back of the end zone, so he continues to kind of build up his, how should I put this? It's like this off-season aura. Going back to last year, JSN was looking really good, really promising last year in camp and making some really great plays and really impressing people. So now he's doing it again. So it looks like JSN is just going to be a guy who gets us all really, really pumped in the offseason. Hopefully he can carry that over into the regular season more so than last year. Although, given how young he is, you would certainly expect that. Like, I don't think anybody should be shocked that there was a little bit of a transitionary period for JSN coming into the NFL last year, so young with so little collegiate experience. More positive reviews about Sam Howell. By the way, Ryan Grubb was actually asked about working with the quarterbacks on this team, Geno Smith and Sam Howell, and he was very, very positive on them. He had very, very positive things to say about both guys, which is kind of interesting in light of something else that Ryan Grubb said that I'll get into in a little bit here. Radigan and O'Connell are still the number one linebackers. They're still the Mike and Will. Tyrese Knight had a nice play in coverage, so he's still the backup linebacker, but it's good to hear that he's starting to come along here, making a play in coverage that a lot of people wonder about his coverage abilities. I've gotten a lot of comments from people saying, "Oh, this Tyrese Knight guy can't cover. He's terrible in coverage." So I'm not necessarily sure that's true personally, but it's good for him to start putting in some work to dispel that belief. So that's most of the stuff from Brady Henderson. Ryan Grubb was interviewed shortly after the OTAs were over, and he said that we're closing in on 50% of installation of offense. I saw this reported from everybody. Levine's got it here, but I think Henderson had it, Condota had it, Bell had it, Corbin probably had it. Oh, wait, no, Corbin wasn't there today. But either way, pretty much everybody was passing along this particular quote. 50% of the installation of the offense. Now, that's obviously with a couple of caveats. There's many important parts of this offense that aren't even here yet. Metcalf and Lockett. And if you want to say they are relevant, I'm not going to say important, but relevant, you've got guys like Eskridge and Chenault also currently missing time. And also you've got what is going on with the offensive line, where a lot of presumed backups are currently playing. Grubb actually talked about the offensive line a little bit here as well. So when Grubb was asked about the offensive line, he said we've got a little ways to go there, which is very much an honest answer. It's a real answer. And when I hear him say something like this, it makes me feel like what he said about Geno and Sam has legitimacy to it, has credibility to it. It means he really does think those guys look good. To hear him say something like this, like if he had said, "Oh, we think we got the greatest offensive line ever," that's not something we could take seriously because we know what it is right now and we know what it was last year. But something like this, okay, you've got a little something. You're cooking a little bit here. So, he talked about the offensive line a little bit, mostly on the right side. So the good news is he's not necessarily being critical of any high expectation players, right? Because right now you've got McClendon Curtis at right guard and you've got George Fant at right tackle. Neither of those guys should be starting when the season starts. So the fact that he's concerned about that side is not really an issue. However, there is one thing worth noting when he went a little bit deeper into the conversation about the offensive line. He was pretty positive. He was pretty praise heavy, I thought, with Tomlinson at left guard, which I mean, I understand he's a veteran. I know he's been a good player. I know he's been a very good player in this league, even recently, even just a few years ago. But I don't think we're doing I think we're doing everybody a disservice if Lake and Tomlinson is our starting left guard day one. So as we start to slowly shift that way, I can't say I like it. This is not going to work well for Grubb's offense in all likelihood, and it's not going to work well for Geno Smith trying to get an offensive line that can protect him. So not thrilled about that, but that's really all we got. It was a pretty quiet OTA overall. I don't feel like we learned anything earth-shattering. The best news was probably AJ Barner's healthy now and is able to do stuff along with Kobe Bryant. But other than that, it's like, okay, what's going on with Bradford? Why is this taking so long? And some people are probably going to get a little impatient with Christian Haynes not being the starting right guard yet, but I'm not terribly surprised they're slow rolling that, and it might not be until the actual training camp that we see those moves made. And I mean, I don't love it, but I think it's pretty understandable. So yeah, that's really all we got. That's what has been passed along. Still waiting for everybody to show up. Still waiting for some of these guys to get back from injury, but starting to bump in the right direction here. Some encouraging signs. Let me know what you guys think. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Probably another video down the line this week.